Welcome, Trish. Could you introduce yourself, Trish, and just tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Trish Mara. I will be 70 this year. And going back just a little bit, the journey, I'll be quick as I can. In 2009, I was diagnosed with lupus and I was put on 3 toxic meds, told to just go with it. It was going to be the rest of my life. The sooner I got on board with that, the better it would be for my overall health. Well, I was teaching school at the time and that was in April. So I took my meds until June when school got out and then got on the computer to find out what else could I do. That was '09. There weren't even gluten-free aisles in markets yet. So very limited information online, yet everything pointed to diet and lifestyle. So I completely changed when I started school in August. I was medication free and people were coming to me saying, "What have you done? What have you done?" Instead of me being sick like they thought I was going to be. And in 2013, I enrolled in the Institute of Integrative Nutrition because I knew I had to share with anyone that I came across because that's what I had been doing. And I graduated, was certified in 2024, and began my practice. My first bone density was in 2018, and I had very mild osteopenia. And I thought, well, I'm kind of surprising because I take good care of myself and everything is natural, but it's very mild. So, and given my age, and then I had my second in 2022, and I had moderate and severe osteoporosis. And I was absolutely floored. How could this happen to me? Not only have I been taking great care of myself, but I'm helping other people take care of themselves. And I was floored. And I made an appointment with a doctor nearby and talked about hormone replacement because by now hormones are beginning to be talked about with the different courses and webinars that I took. The philosophy of the doctor, the sourcing of the hormones, nothing suited me. And then I just happened to, in one of the newsletters from one of the doctors that I followed, at the bottom was a link. Check out Dr. Michelle Sands. She's doing a webinar, next Tuesday, whatever, tomorrow. And I tuned in. And honestly, I actually have goosebumps as I'm now talking because momentarily I just connected. I just knew her expertise, her honesty, her compassion, everything about it. I just knew was exactly what I wanted. And I signed up for the hormones. In the chat box, I piped in and said, I'm 13 years past menopause. Am I truly a candidate? And that's what sold me because her answer was so honest and so fact based. And she just said, honestly, there isn't enough data, but to support yes or no, yet there's no data that says it can't happen, but we just don't know. And then later, she said, it may take your body longer than someone who's more recently past menopause for the hormones to go from being dormant for 13 years to reacting to. She said, that's my thought, my theory. And please, if you do, let me know, go a little more than a year for your next DEXA score and let me know the results. Well, I had to cancel, so it took 2 years. I went from severe osteoporosis to very little, matching scores from 2018 and less than osteopenia. And I mean, it's just everything. It's absolutely everything. I couldn't
Oh
be
my,
more grateful.
congratulations. Let me
Thank
start
you.
there. Yeah, that's an incredible journey. And I love hearing about how it's one of my favorite parts to connect on is I went through this, I'm learning, right? Like the awakening that happens, the wait a minute, everything I've been told feels like this is the opposite, or
Exactly.
it's just not helpful. And then you learn that every bite of food and what we're doing in our lifestyle, we have so much power. So I just
So
want to credit
much.
so like, and then to be a teacher, right? And so it's just so natural that as you're healing yourself, then you're teaching others. So that's so beautiful. So I just want to
Uh,
congratulate you
yeah.
on that, and then congratulate you on your results. So if you could walk me through this again. So you had a 2018 scan
2018. Yep.
that was mild osteopenia, and
Exactly.
then in 4 years you got this another bone scan that was so
I
just
went
like
from
walk me through that timeline again, and then how you know that in what year did you join Healthy Hormone Club, and
um,
then you
yeah,
had the results back even lower than 2018. So just clarify
yeah.
that piece for me if you
Okay,
could. Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So in 2018, it was mild osteopenia. One score was zero point 0.1, one score was 1.7. And I admit I didn't pay very close attention to it because it was mild and I was in my late 50s and I thought, okay. And I do take good care of myself. I exercise, I eat well. Then in 2022, it was 2.5, 2.6. So it had markedly deteriorated. And that was April of 2022. And then in May is when I consulted with a doctor that was local nearby, not thinking go online because I didn't even think that was available at that time. It hadn't come to me. And I just did not like anything about the practice and was thinking, now what am I going to do? And then just in July of 2022, at the bottom of a newsletter with one of the doctors, I wish I could remember which one, give kudos to, was join this webinar. And I started in July, but the hormones actually came in August of 2022.
Okay.
And then in April of 2025, my DEXA scores were 1.1, zero point 0.8, or zero point 0.6, and 1.1. And it's back to mild osteopenia, not severe high risk. I mean, high risk was in all capital letters. It was that bad when I got the scores. High risk for fracture. And now it's gone.
And so joining the Healthy Hormone Club, you feel that that played an important role in your healing.
Oh, undoubtedly. There's absolutely no question in my mind because the other things that I've done in my life have remained consistent. I might have added a little more weight-bearing exercise, but exercise in my routine, it's never a routine, to be perfectly honest, because I'm always reading something new and trying something new. Yeah, no, my supplements haven't changed. I just added the hormones. And one thing too, with the diagnosis of lupus in '09, I mean, the body as a whole. So some of the symptoms of lupus, one, sleeplessness, two, hair loss, both got better with changing my diet and lifestyle for sure. But adding hormones in 2022, again, it's just that one greater step, but it was a huge greater step.
I just want to congratulate you. That's gorgeous. And you look amazing, 70 now. And your score, you said, is the better, or yeah, a little bit lower than
Equal
the
to,
20,
yeah,
equal to
equal
the
to and
28
lower.
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Woohoo. All right. I love that. I
it's
love that.
unbelievable. It's really unbelievable.
So you took action, you watched the webinar, and you did your research, and you said yes. Was there any hesitation, which is right, like it's really natural before joining? What helped you move past any resistance or hesitation?
My only hesitation was I have had mammograms that they want me to come back for another one. It definitely is my family. We don't have any breast cancer, but we do have fatty masses. I've got three other sisters. So I really wasn't thinking cancer, but yet, even though that study was a poorly executed study back linking hormones with breast cancer, you can't help but having it circle in the back of of your mind. But I've had consecutive mammograms too, and there's absolutely nothing. So, and on that too, well, I might be jumping because I do want to at some point say how all of the different professionals that I've consulted with over the almost 3 years, they're all so wonderful. And my estrogen and progesterone ratio has always been solid, even if it took my body a while to wake up. So that's just another positive thing throughout the last 3 years that I have to give kudos to the company for, because that truly is the most important part of choosing to do hormone replacement therapy. But a lot of people don't know that. They don't understand that connection. So I don't know if that was the right place to throw
That's
it in, but
absolutely that anything that you
yeah,
feel like adding, it's such an incredible journey, and anything that you can share from your perspective, right? Like there's so many women that believe that it's too late, right? It's too late, it's too old, they're too far past menopause. And actually more and more research has come out around the long-term longevity benefits, right? So not only the bone density, but cardiovascular health and brain health. So maybe speaking to the you're never too old, because that's such a prevalent story. So is there anything that you'd want to say to someone who has that thought?
yeah, you definitely are never too old. I mean, I changed careers when I turned 60, and it's just, yeah, you're never too old. I just think age is in the mind, and if you can control how you feel about your aging, then you just will age gracefully.
That's
But
awesome. That's
it's
beautiful. No, that's you're right. It is just a mindset and it's a number, just like we get a lot of information shared with us, right? So you mentioned earlier the cancer study and how it can just kind of stay in the mind.
right.
But what's so interesting about our minds is that the research now has come out that was not only debunked, but it had to do with synthetic hormones,
That
right? And bioidentical is not synthetic. And
right.
even though we know that, there's the fear can still remain. So what would you say around now knowing the difference, not only just between synthetic and bioidentical, but bioidentical done properly, right? Like the cleanest hormones available is actually what you've been taking. So no forever chemicals, no parabens, no
Exactly.
toxins. What would you say to anybody that was having that kind of hesitation around those studies and such?
Well, during the webinar back in 2022, when Dr. Michelle said that she sources, everything, she is in control, and that even the container had nothing, because I know a friend of mine was questioning the container of the hormones that she got, and it was a local compounding pharmacy. And there was even, I live on Cape Cod, so near the Boston area. And there was even the compounding pharmacy was having trouble with different products. So she didn't know if it was, hers. And I can remember now back in 2022 just saying to her, ah, thank goodness I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to think about whether or not that the hormones are natural, whether or not the container that they're in contains anything that could be harmful. I just knew I could completely trust the source, and that's everything. That's what I do with every product I buy for my physical, whether it's creams or shampoo or whatever, whether it's the food I put in, everything. My house is completely natural, everything. So to have Dr. Michelle then say, and my hormones, and they're I'm like, okay, here we are. Yes, found my match.
I agree. I've had a very similar experience. And sometimes it can feel like a full-time or a part-time job just vetting different sources. And so
Absolutely.
it feels so good once you found a company and a relationship like with Dr. Michelle and our team that you can trust that this is the cleanest available. And, when Dr. Michelle was saying she was looking in the very, very beginning to be able to share bioidentical hormones with her members,
Right.
And she couldn't find anything that didn't have the parabens and the toxins and the forever chemicals. And she was so moved by that. Wait a minute. Women are actually introducing all these hormone disruptors and these forever chemicals, trying to balance their hormones. I have to do better. I want
Right.
better. I want better for myself. I want better for my family. I want better for women. And so I'm so glad that you got to meet us when you do, because I know now that they're becoming very popular, a lot of women think, oh, well, it's bioidentical, not recognizing that there can be forever chemicals in their compounding pharmacy, or they can be
Exactly.
doing okay, and then an ingredient is swapped out, and then it's something that they have a reaction to. So it's been a big learning curve for me too. So
Yeah.
fortunately, you found
I
the
know.
hormones and the bioidentical with Glow Natural Wellness. So happy to have this chance to connect. What would you say to someone who's thinking about joining the Healthy Hormone Club but isn't sure yet?
I would start with the quality because that's, I think, most important, but then very quickly just add the ease, the expertise, the professionalism. Go down the list of reasons to stay. I've never been thinking, oh no, I hope hormones come. This container is almost empty. I have to hit it on the tile to get it to go. Never. Like it's always there before I realize it's needed to be there. And at the beginning, I was difficult to get the levels right. My levels were kind of all over, and I think it is because of my age. 13 years of no hormones in this body. The body was definitely saying, "What are you doing?" But everyone was just, and I also, just me being me, I always get a different person on purpose because I just wonder if somebody knows something different and new. And everyone just, I can't say enough. I have no complaints about any consult that I've ever had. I even tested more than twice the first year, and there was never a hesitation on, you have to do more than the norm for us to get you straight. Let's just get you there. And just everything about the company, honestly, everything.
Oh, Trish, that's so gorgeous. And I'll
I
make
know.
sure to share that with the clinical team because, it is the whole team really cares and we care about what we do. We're proud that we're able to take such good care of women and communities. And so I love hearing and that's actually really fun that you worked with a different hormone specialist, because a part of the Healthy Hormone Club is you have access, like unlimited access. You can call in without an appointment. Like it's so I find that a fun feature. And I love that you were connecting with different, I find my favorite, and then I usually stay with the
Yeah,
person, like let's say a massage or something like that. Like that's my
right.
masseuse. But I love that you met with different clinical team members. That's really smart. I love that.
Yeah. Well, I may have found my favorite, so I may have to take that back a little bit.
Yeah, that's great. So, Healthy Hormone Club, I'll make sure to circle back with clinical and let them know that you've had a really beautiful
Oh, good.
journey. Yeah, I love hearing that. That makes my heart so happy. And then if you could sum up your experience in a couple sentences, what would it be, Trish?
So beyond bone density, sleep has increased, hair fullness has increased, skin elasticity has increased. I could probably even say I'll give it energy too. I don't know where the energy comes from sometimes, but I'm sure it has played a role. And my whole life has completely changed. And I thought I was on a great road, but I just needed to take another fork and go deeper in. Yeah, and I'm just forever grateful that I have.
Oh, Trisha, I'm so happy. And then if there's one final thought you want to leave us with, or if I was going to say, what would you like to say to Dr. Michelle directly and make sure that she sees it? What would you like to say to Dr. Michelle?
just to Dr. Michelle, thank you so much for your honesty during that first webinar that I watched back in July of 2022. I knew your answer was fact based, but it was your enthusiasm, your compassion, and your honesty that definitely. I just knew it was a match. And just being a health coach and being in the field, the way you spoke and the way you presented yourself, couldn't be more grateful.
To anybody who's on the fence, worried about saying yes, what would you say?
There's no reason to be worried. At a very, very minimum, do a consult and ask questions that you might still have. But again, regardless of who you consult with, there's no reason to hesitate. Start. And start now before later, because yes, we are getting older every day. Even though it's never too late, don't waste another moment.
Oh, gorgeous. Yay. Oh my gosh, that's great. Anything you want to add? Because this is just pure gold, Trish. It's been so much fun connecting with you. And
Oh,
there's so many
thanks,
nuggets of
Jen.
gold that you've shared. So I know you're going to help other women, especially women like, oh, I've waited too long or this or that. There's no too long. And so there's so many gems that I know the team can work with and share with other women. Thank you for sharing your time and sharing your smile
Oh,
and your
thank you.
journey.